Welcome back to The Dive. Our guest today has over 25 years of experience in the mining industry. He will deep dive into the world's dependency on Russian oil, gold, lithium's price, the battery recycling market, China's impact on the lithium sector, the company's drill program, and recent acquisition. He is the president, CEO, and director of United Lithium. Michael Dehn's joining us today. But before we bring you Michael's interview, do me one quick favor and go ahead and just smash that subscribe button, please. Hey, Michael, nice to see you. Welcome back to The Dive.
Good seeing you again, Cassandra. How's things?
Things are great over here. How about with yourself?
It's almost spring and the metals market's hot, so I guess I'm in a happy place.
All right, no complaints. Perfect. Well, let's dive right into it then. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky recently called on the international community to boycott Russian oil. Do you think there will be a way to quickly get rid of dependency on Russian fossil fuels?
I think Europe will not have much choice, dependency. I mean, I think China will just take any supply they can from Russia, and it'll probably be given to them at a discount. And you'll just see some sort of shifting in where customers are coming from for Russian oil, and maybe potentially we'll see some more North American natural gas and oil delivered into the European market. We just have to work on our logistics streams for that. But yeah, I think they don't have much choice. So it will happen. It will probably happen quite quickly. And I don't think Russia will lose volume. It'll just change. The customers they're selling to will just change.
Do you think that this poses a risk of global stagflation?
Yeah, I mean, near term I do. Long term, I think the balance, supply and demand will balance out. I mean, people see prices go up, they'll drive less, demand will go down, prices will come down again too. So you don't have as much flexibility when you're heating your home with natural gas or oil as you do when you decide whether you're going to go on a vacation or go to the grocery store 5 times a week instead of going twice a week. So there's certain things you can do to mitigate it, and other things you can't control. So I think it will come together, but short term it's going to be painful.
Okay, so we know that you have a background in gold. We have to ask, how do you view the recent price action of gold?
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised it hasn't spiked sooner in previous years, because I could see costs, housing costs have gone up ridiculously in the GTA in Toronto, and consumer costs have gone up with COVID in the last 12 months because of logistics concerns. So I would have expected more people to go to gold as a bit of a safe haven, because there will probably be some inflation and some pressure on currencies. What I didn't expect is that the cryptocurrencies to stay up as strong as they are. And I think that is taking away a lot of the upside in gold. And we'll see what happens now if Biden's regulations really kick in and do anything on cryptos. But I think that could be another catalyst to another, move on the gold price.
Now, shifting to lithium, it's well reported that the last couple of years we have seen tremendous price increases. Do you think that these prices are sustainable?
Well, and they're sustainable as long as consumers are required to buy electric vehicles. It's not like we have a lot of choices if the governments are mandating a certain percentage of vehicles on the roads have to be electric by a certain period of time. Will we find alternatives in the next 10 years to lithium? Potentially. It's not something, though, that happens quickly, especially in a consumer product like a car. Where I see is there's a lot of, I actually expect the price volatility to get worse, because there's a lot of projects out there that have resources that I do not believe can deliver to the market. I think there'll be technology risk, political risk, and even geological risk on a lot of these projects. So I am concerned that the price will even continue to go up more, and that there's a lot of expectation that some of these bigger projects in the world are going to come onto market, and I don't think they will.
One story that we read from Fortune Business Insights forecasts the lithium-ion battery recycling industry to grow up to $24 billion by 2030. What are your thoughts on the recycling of lithium batteries? Do you think that it can start to grow into a huge market in the near term?
I think there's going to be a lot of repurposing of lithium batteries where, it might not be great for a car, but all of a sudden it's great for a home backup storage system, or for people who want to replace lead acid batteries at the cottage with something that's going to, last a little longer, where you're going to see all of a sudden a Tesla battery pack is going to be stuck on a cottage wall or in your garage as a storage system versus it truly being recycled and put back into the market as another vehicle battery. So I think there will be a certain amount of recycling, but not by 2030. It'll probably be longer than that. And I think there'll be a lot more repurposing of lithium batteries.
According to the International Energy Agency, China controls more than half of the world's lithium processing and refining, with 75% of the world's lithium-ion battery megafactories. Do you think that China has been positioning itself to have a monopoly on the electric vehicle battery supply chain?
I mean, I don't know if they've been, by default, they've been making a monopoly because North America and Europe just have been slow to react. They've had opportunities to, and now we see Europe is building gigafactories like you wouldn't believe, but they haven't secured supply to feed those gigafactories. The Chinese have gone the next step, that they're taking not just making the finished product of the batteries, but they're investing in the mines around the world. There have been investments in Africa, in South America. You even see them poking in Quebec and in Europe. So the Chinese are looking at the full supply chain from raw material to batteries to support the electric vehicle market. You're not seeing that level of support from the European and North American battery megafactories, the cathode producers, to actually support the raw material producers, the miners. And I think that is a big mistake for the Europeans and North Americans. And I think they are going to be playing catch up for several years. And that too will increase the prices, because the Chinese seem to have this bottomless pit of cash to invest into these projects.
Now, the Neo-Lithium transaction made headlines when a group of House Republicans raised concerns over the sale of a Toronto-listed lithium mining company to a Chinese state-owned firm. Why do you think that this became political? Do you think that acquisitions such as this can impact national security?
Well, I mean, I guess if you're a capitalist and somebody else is making money and you're not, is that your national security? There was opportunities for North American companies to make competing bids, for U.S. companies to go in there and make a competing bid. The Chinese made the bid. Nobody else beat them to the punch. Nobody else offered to pay more. It's either you're going to have it as a state-run industry, or you're going to have it as a capitalist investment. So are you going to stop people from investing in your projects? I mean, right now there's a reason to stop certain country in Europe and Asia from dealing with the rest of the world. But we are a global economy, and if somebody wants to pay more than you want to pay for something, should you stop them? It's a commodity. It's, what are you going to do? Stop selling wheat to people, or stop selling iron to people? It to me, there are bigger problems than who controls the commodity, because it will come to the market. It's just how much you're going to pay for it.
So a German company recently secured land in Quebec for a planned battery materials facility. We see lithium companies start up and fail in Canada regularly. Why do you think Canada has had such a struggle to create a thriving lithium sector?
Yeah, we were really good at producing lithium, 40, 50 years ago, 60 years ago, and the Tanko mine in Manitoba, lithium's a byproduct of their tantalum production. So we can do it. Where we seem to fail is not the mining, but on the carbonate and lithium hydroxide. And I think the failures were not the mines themselves, but the mineral processing after you make a concentrate. And part of that, I think, is just we don't do that in Canada a lot. You see that the Chinese have got the stranglehold on that. You see the Europeans have far past Canadians and Americans in doing that. I think there's one lithium hydroxide plant that Piedmont has, and they're planning to build a second. And I believe Albemarle has another one in the US. But there is not a lot of capacity. In Europe, the German company you're talking about, I mean, their business is chemicals. They're not a mining company. They're a chemical company. So I have a lot of faith that they will deliver where the mining companies have not been able to do chemical products. And you'll see other companies like another junior, Rocktech Lithium. They've announced to build 5 lithium hydroxide plants in Europe. That's a mining company that I think is going to transition into a chemical company. And you need that. We are, that's the missing link between the miners and the EV is who's going to do that finesse process once you make concentrate. And I think that's going to really help the industry. And yeah, I'm glad that the Germans have come to Canada. I'm kind of surprised at the location, but Quebec probably gave them some good incentives. I would have thought they would have built a little closer to the end users in the US. But maybe the intention is to ship all that raw material back to Europe to feed the European EV market.
Okay. So let's talk about United Lithium. The company recently conducted a lithium hydroxide testing program. What can you tell us at this point?
Well, we should have the final results out imminently. Dr. Halim has been working on this now for 8 weeks. He's fixed a lot of chemistry and a lot of projects. He's worked for SGS, which is a big international chemical or metallurgical processing company, FL Smith in Salt Lake City. He's done a lot of lithium work, and we've kind of let him run with his ideas, and he's delivered, and I expect he's going to continue to deliver with his science and his engineering. He's a brilliant man, and his team with him, they're working hard. I was in the lab last week, and I have some insight that I can't share until it's public with in a press release. But I'm happy with how things are going.
Okay, we'll have to have you back to share that with us at a later date. Now, the company also announced its second rig, which started drilling at the Bergby Lithium project in Sweden, with 2 drills on the property. What are the current objectives of the drill program?
We're really trying to compress time, and when it comes to the mining cycle exploration stage, or when you're drilling and exploring, that is the only period where you can compress time. So the more drills we get on the project, the faster our objectives of getting to a large resource are made. We are looking currently for a 3rd drill for the project as well, and I expect maybe even a 4th drill, because we are now having 1 drill going out and exploring, and another drill is going back and infilling where we've already found mineralization. So the faster we can do that, turn it around, the quicker we are to a preliminary economic assessment and a feasibility study. And with the commodity price the way it is, the faster we get there, the better it is for the European market.
Now, we saw your announcement regarding your recent acquisition of a lithium project in Finland. Why Finland? Can you walk us through the acquisition?
Yeah, so the acquisition, it was from a Canadian and an Australian joint venture, two public companies, and they have both moved on to other commodities from lithium. The drilling they did back in, I believe it's 2016, 2017, did identify a very high grade, wide mineralized pegmatite with some narrow adjacent pegmatites. So it's quite similar geologically to what we have in Sweden. Logistically, it's very close to highways, an hour away from Helsinki, an hour away from the port of Pori. So we look at projects that you can get to easily, that have power, that have roads, that have labor force nearby, where you're not developing an infrastructure yourself, being in the far north of Ontario, Manitoba, or Quebec, where you might have to put your own community in to support a project. We're also very fortunate to have a lot of support from the Finnish Geological Survey. They've done work on our Swedish project historically, and I've been in contact with many of their technical people there that they really would like to see some more support. And right now, the first true hard rock lithium mine is going to be producing in Finland, in northern Finland, with Kaliber. So we're already in a jurisdiction that has experienced this sort of going from exploration to production in the lithium space, and the government and the communities have been supportive of it. So Finland has sort of been a natural fit, and the opportunity came at the right time when we were, I was digging around for good projects in Europe, and it seemed like nobody else was looking at this one. So Opportunity, right time, right place, and commodity cycles going up while we're doing the transaction. I guess we just ticked all the boxes.
Perfect. Okay, so one more thing before we let you go here, Michael. Are there any key timelines or milestones that we missed that investors should be watching out for with United Lithium?
Yeah, I'd say the next milestone in Finland is when we start drilling, and hopefully that'll be late spring, early summer. And if everything goes well in Sweden, we should be able to get to producing a resource by year end. So early next year, resource should be complete. But the more capital we have in the treasury, the faster we'll drill, the faster we'll permit, the faster we'll grow. And I think compressing time at the exploration stage is when you have to do it. So we're trying to move as quick as possible. And we've only been in Sweden now for, I guess it's 10 months or 11 months. So we're going as quick as we can.
Okay, sounds great. Well, thank you so much for joining us again. It's been so nice to talk to you, and thanks for sharing your insights with us.
Good seeing you again.
Thanks so much for tuning in today. We'll be back again tomorrow with the latest news and updates, so be sure to stay tuned by hitting that notification bell before you go.